In the famous words of Asmongold, we truly cannot go a week without Activision Blizzard getting caught up in something. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but if you're a regular of mine, you know that I view COD the same way a person may view a brutal car accident. You don't want to look, but you're sort of intrigued about how bad it got. And bad is just an understatement to what's happened in the franchise this past year, and I think it's time we have a little chat about that. So grab your controller and surrender your credit card to Activision, because today we're talking about Call of Duty. Again. And if you don't mind, consider subbing to the channel if you enjoy what you see today. Okay, let's continue. For those that have been playing MW22, it's no surprise that this COD has been one of the most bland, most uninspired games to have come out of the franchise in the past 5 or 6 years. So you're probably saying, well, Blackout, why don't you go and play the older CODs? There are two issues with that, right? The prices they're charging for these games that might have players on them are ridiculous. And two, with Activision sending out cease and desist like banks do credit card offers, it's not safe to play the older titles anymore. What I mean is that it's pretty common knowledge that playing these older unsupported Call of Duties are a risk if you're not running a VPN or if you're just a PC player in general. But what's worse is that Black Ops Cold War is now affected by this. Yeah, it's safe to say that not even the newer CODs are safe to play. According to Charlie Intel on Twitter, there is currently an exploit in Black Ops Cold War on all platforms where a person can gain access to a player's IP, crash their game, or potentially cause other issues. No indication so far of it happening in MW2 or Warzone 2. Oh, well, ain't that great? That's good to hear. If you play anything from Cold War and older, you're gambling your IP address like you're playing a game of roulette. Now, I know Charlie Intel says that there's no indication of it happening on MW2 or Warzone 2 so far, but the most I hear is that there are cheaters in ranked, so I guess that's good. Don't worry though, y'all. Activision has your back, because here's what they said about it. Yeah, that's right. Not a goddamn thing. They did, however, put out a patch recently for Cold War though, and did that fix it? We really don't know. Is that? Oh, nice. Yo, so we actually did get word from the Call of Duty Twitter account, and here's what it says. There's something so reassuring about having a giant rat in tactical gear on your team. Ah, yes. Nothing says we are concerned about our community's security more than promoting a Bobby Kotick operator skin that more or less costs $20. Nice response, guys. On a real note though, I am just so sick and tired of the community having to be the ones to warn other players about something Activision can't be paid to give a fuck about. Guaranteed if this were happening more in MW22 and it was putting a dent in their bottom line, they would have had this shit done like yesterday, okay? And going back to Activision handing out cease and desist, the reason clients like XLabs and SM2 even existed in the first place was because of the lack of security with these older CODs. Now with those projects being buried 6 feet deep, Activision have essentially forced people's hands to either risk their security or play the newer, less impressive games. Now to be fair, they also sent out cease and desist to 2 cheap providers, but Activision must not be aware that they can come back in a matter of seconds. That's not going to stop them. Could Activision go through and do some sort of maintenance to improve the security of these servers? Possibly, but they see that the numbers are so low that it may not even be worth supporting, and I understand why they wouldn't in that aspect. But when they've taken away the only thing that could possibly help people play these older titles safely, it's up to them if they want something to be done with these older servers. And what they decided to do was just shut down the only way to play these games safely. And even if you pretend to give a shit about your community, it would be nice to see some sort of remedy be given for this. I also don't know what has to give in order for them to actually pay attention to what's going on. Pretty soon, MW22 is about to be pushed out the door to make way for the next Call of Duty that damn near no one asked for, so there's a good chance that this isn't gonna get resolved and the security for these players are going to be an afterthought. I'm personally glad that the community are starting to become more and more hostile than a sports fan being told that sports games are trash when it comes to the future of the franchise. It may not do much unless you simply don't buy the newer CODs, but as I mentioned in my other videos talking about the franchise, it's a nice dream to have. My final thoughts on the situation, I really don't have any. I mean, this video sort of acted as a giant final thoughts segment and I really don't know what else needs to be added. I'm just shocked and disappointed at the end of the day. And I know videos like this really won't fucking do much because, you know, Activision can really care what I say, but it's just a really bad time to be a fan of the franchise or even just a casual player, really, because it seems like Activision just cannot care less if you want to go back to these older COD games. They've got new ones on the way and they want you to pay for them. And if you're not going to pay for them, they don't give a shit about you. It's just as simple as that. Now I turn the mic to you. Let me know down below what you think about this whole situation. Do you think that Activision needs to maintain a certain level of security for their older titles? Do you think that Activision shouldn't even bother? Let me know. And while you're down there, go ahead and pull that like button and hit that sub button to all so YouTube can show you my content free of charge. This is Sir Blackout signing off to simply go play a different game. Maybe I might have to revisit Combat Masters. Yeah, who knows. Later.